Hey guys, welcome to Views from the Vault. We have a very special episode today. We have Pancake, aka Chris, in the house. He's gonna be going under the cap with us in the collector spotlight. We're gonna learn a little bit about his journey, how long he's been collecting hats. We're gonna count down some of his favorite Phillies hats. We're also gonna be talking about some unreleased samples. So, without further ado, take it away, Pierre.
Chris, good to have you, man.
Thank you, guys.
So you're another one of those guys that, I followed. I followed when I first, I wasn't in Instagram for a long time, but once I got on there, you're one of the guys that I followed closely, and your love of the Phillies is unprecedented. So
thank you.
And I want you to know two things. Number one, I'm wearing a Phillies hat for you today.
Yes.
But also I had pancakes for breakfast.
Nice.
So I just want to make sure I had to get into, I just had to get into character for this interview today, because I was really excited. I was giddy like a schoolgirl first thing in the morning. I'm like, I get to talk to Chris,
man.
The Philly.
Well, listen, pancakes changed my life, so pancakes are good with me.
Well, why don't you tell how did pancakes change your life?
So I was getting started in radio, and I went to I didn't do well in high school. I really didn't have a path of where I was going. I was working at a mixtape stand selling Meek Mill and Gilly the Kid mixtapes at Franklin Mills Mall, and working at UPS and Chuck E. Cheese and wherever I could work. And it just wasn't really what I wanted to do. And I met one of my favorite radio broadcasters, and he's like, you should check out a broadcasting school. And my grades weren't really conducive, but he's like, no, try it. I did it, and it all worked out. And I went to broadcasting school, did really well, got in at my favorite station. And I went in early to sit in with their show and watch them, what they do before my shift started. And it was like my second week. And it was National Pancake Day. And IHOP gives out pancakes if you make a donation. So I went down, waited till they opened up, talked to the guy. He's like, no, we're not going to do this. Talked him into it eventually, hooks me up with like 50 pancakes. And I come walking into the radio station and, what do you got? I'm like, oh, pancakes. You want pancakes? I got them for the whole station. And they're like, dude, that's going to take you far, an attitude like that. And I've been there for 11 and a half years now.
Wow.
I worked my way up as an intern, unpaid for a couple of years. Worked, producing for whatever, and I ended up with, one of the top DJs in the country. I do flyers, highlights when they're on our station, and it's a dream job.
I'm shocked you're in the entertainment industry, considering you're so introverted.
No, I am. I keep to myself. I don't talk a lot. I'm nah.
So, Chris, I gotta change my hat because people are pissed off about me having this hat. So I'm gonna change it because.
All right. Oh, see, that's a good one right there.
People are pissed. People are pissed that I have this hat. So they're saying I'm like.
I hear it. I understand if they're pissed that you have that hat. I get that they would be mad, because if I didn't have the hat, I would be mad.
Chris, why don't we both wear them together? How about that?
Right, here we go.
Let's do that.
I mean, it feels icy. It is cold. When I put it on, it feels so cool.
Our viewers just went to zero.
It's a beauty, isn't it? It's a beauty. But Chris, tell us about listen, man, you're just a huge Philadelphia fan. So tell us about that.
I mean, I've loved Philadelphia sports forever. I mean, I watched it with my dad growing up as a kid. He'd watch, I'd fall asleep on the couch while he was, watching the end of the Phillies games. I'd watch Harry and Whitey, and that was my childhood. And, like most kids, my late teens, I really the Phillies were playing pretty terribly. The only thing that really mattered was that Boston Red Sox hat there back in 2001, 2002. Practice. We're talking about practice. I mean, the Sixers were it, so I sort of have always had this love for my teams. And then probably 2004, 2005, I mean, you could get into a Phillies game for like pennies. You could scrape
Yeah.
change off of the floor and go to a game because they just weren't doing well. We had a nice stadium, and I just started, slowly collecting hats, and it just turned into, honestly, madness.
Yeah. Well, I see some of the pictures you post. So you're not a poser, man. You've got like, if it's a Memorial Day cap or whatever event, you've got it going back as far as.
I mean, since the special event caps started, I mean, there are 3 or 4 that I don't have that was, not released as a hat that you could buy. And I didn't really realize that you could go down and purchase it at the stadium as a game used or, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So there's, there's a Philadelphia Stars that I have. It's not a newer, it's from like California Cat Company or something like that.
Yeah.
Ryan Howard, I think it was 2012, 2013, something like that. But that was one of them that like I didn't realize till later. But I have right here, so I have All-Star game hats. These aren't reproductions. This is 97. This is 2001. This is 2003, 2004. I mean, this is the heyday of patches. If you're a patch guy, I mean, the gold, the colors, the everything that are in
They're
there.
also on the right side of the hat.
They're on the correct side of the hat. So what I've done in the past few years, I also do patch swaps. So it came about because I couldn't find the patch that I wanted on a Phillies hat, and it turns out they didn't really make them. It was only for teams that were doing well, and so I just started to find a patch. So I would go out and I would take a 2006 hat. So this came from, it was a team issued Brewers hat. So it was worn by a player or a coach or somebody.
Yeah.
I apologize to the Brewers fans who are upset that like I took a game used patch. I took it and I ripped it off the hat and I threw the hat in the trash because it doesn't,
Yeah.
no, it's just not. I didn't throw it in the trash. I got it up in the deck. Brewers fans, don't get upset. But I
don't think there's many Brewers fans in here.
So what it's got to do is it has to be, if I took the 2006 patch, it's got to go on a 2006 hat. So you guys were talking earlier, about which
The Blue Jays hat.
So that's one of the easiest ways to tell. So you go back to like a 97 hat. It's got the diamond with the stripe, but it's got that new era flag. If you go back another year, it doesn't have that flag. It's got the whatever it is. So there's I don't know. It's
No, you've got
these hats.
Understanding of what each year's hat looks like. Like I could show you a hat. Like when we were on earlier and we showed a Blue Jays hat, you're like, all right, that's early to mid 1990s.
Right, mid to so if it's got it's got the, let me see, I got one right.
Wayne, you got that hat handy, close to you?
What's that? Yeah, I got
might have the hat right there.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
There you
Right
go.
here.
This one?
Pancake right here.
There you go, right there. So it's got the diamond. It's got the diamond authentic. So that labels it to a specific year that's after the 94. So that would probably be like a 95 or a 96. And it's like I have more than just the Phillies. It goes back to their minor league teams and stuff like that. So there are specific teams that were only out for a year, 2 years, like the Piedmont Phillies. They were a team for 1 year. So you can make sure that those tags are specific to 95 because that's the only year that they produced that hat or whatever it is. But yeah, my love for Philly sports, it is what it is.
So with that, Chris, do us a favor though. Tell us, like, I'd love to know, like, who are your favorite? Like, give me your 2 favorite Phillies of all time.
All right, Chase Utley, right?
Okay.
I mean, I grew up watching Darren Dalton. You know,
Darren Dalton,
he was a captain. He was a leader. I mean, he held Lenny Dykstra on as tight of a leash.
He's one of the only guys that
can.
could keep Lenny Dykstra under
Right.
control.
I mean, honestly, if it was anybody else, he would have been off the deep end. Well, all right.
Way before
He
you.
would have gone. He would have drowned instead of
Oh,
just being in that place. But yeah, he was probably my second favorite Philly.
See, I think I might be a little older than you because my favorite Philly of all time was Mike Schmidt.
Right. Well, Mike Schmidt is what I grew up on. Mike Schmidt was, you know, I had the Carlton Schmidt poster with the flaming ball and the flaming bat and, like, you know, the hammer and nails from the 90s. Yep. But like you know, there's pictures, you know, that have of me and my brother, and we're at the vet at, you know, 5, 6 years old. You know, these were the colors, and maroon was our team colors. I remember when they changed over, and it was like, well, why would we do that? We're the maroon team. We're the, you know, whatever it is. Yeah. But now I love the throwbacks. I love throwing it back every Thursday. You know, this past Thursday would have been a throwback Thursday. I'd have been there. But you know, they brought it back a couple of years ago, and then they ended up bringing back the powder blue jerseys, which was, you know, they weren't a home jersey, so it was weird for them to wear. I see the hat, I see the shirt in the background. Yeah.
One of the best uniforms ever.
So we talk a lot about the Phillies. Now, how about your 2 favorite Sixers of all time?
I mean, it's got to be Iverson, and I mean, I want to say Barkley because he was so you know, that was my, you know, 10, 11, 12 years old. So you see the round mound of
rebound.
I mean, and he's just not a role model. Like, just don't listen. I mean, those guys are pretty.
Wait, Chris K saying Dr. J, but you probably a little.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. J was before my time, and like, I'm not saying that he's not the best, you know, because he's obviously, you know, he's
a legend.
Right. I mean, you can't argue the two of them because they're in classes of their own.
And Marin's begging you to pick that Jayhawk. Joel.
Joe. I got a Joel jersey over here somewhere. That's my guy. All right, so here's the funny thing. I work in radio, so I have a lot of friends that work at different venues, and all the Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, they're all in one parking lot. You know, they share parking lots. It's not like anywhere else. I went to Boston and I was like, where do we drink and where do we cause scenes like this? There's buildings and apartments across from the building, but so we.
Oh, come on, dude. There's all kinds of places around Fenway.
Yeah, if you were over, when I was underage when I went.
You're underage. So you're looking for dark alleys to drink
in the alley with the homeless guy.
Yeah, I get you.
Couple beers.
I get you.
So my buddy is the court announcer for the Sixers. Anytime you've ever heard, and finally a 6-foot guard from Georgetown, Allen Iverson. That's him. That's my buddy Matt. So he Joel's first game, we got to go down, and I was going to go and take a picture of Lids did this NBA 100 hat. You know, it was like 1 of 100. And I went to take a picture of it down on the court. So we went down and I go down, I take the picture, and we're walking out. And as I'm walking down the hallway, we're walking down this booth, and Joel Embiid comes walking out of the locker room and bumps into me. I mean, this dude's hip is at my shoulder. It was insane. I was like, this guy is insane.
Yeah, it's insane how big these guys are in person, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't to see them run up and down the court. You're like, oh, that's not really that impressive. And then you see their size, and you're like, how does your ankles take?
So, Chris, tell us, like, what do you do? Like, from a hat collecting standpoint, now you focus solely on Phillies, right? That's all you focus on, really, right?
That's all I focus on. I mean, I'll do. You know, there's some Dionic drops that I'll pull up on, but I mean, I don't I don't do any other teams. There's no opposition. Like the closest thing that I have here to an opposition hat is I have like a Philadelphia Athletics 1915 hat. They're not my team. They're not. I mean, they were from here, and it was a gift, so I'm not gonna get rid of it. But when I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I don't. That's.
So you wouldn't do the same thing with that hat that you did with that Milwaukee Brewers hat,
right? Yeah, I want to
rip
just
it apart.
Yeah,
You're
no, it's not even
Frankenstein
trash.
that.
It's just up in my attic. It's just collecting, mold and mildew. I want to watch it.
Whoever gifted it to you isn't watching right now.
No, they most certainly are not.
So Chris, tell us, like, you're from Philly, man. So you've got to tell us, what the hell does this word mean?
Whatever you want it to, man. John means whatever you want it to. You
All right,
could
so
say,
use
yo,
it
Leon, I could see that Yankees John in that box up there. What's the side patch on? And you could use it as it's a noun. It's it can be whatever you want. I mean, it's literally like the black John on the inside of this. The seam is in the front when it should be in the back. Like that John annoys me, but like. Whatever you want it to be.
So it's one of the most versatile words.
Yes.
How do you know what people are talking about when everybody's saying John for everything?
Well, people don't really. I mean, it's not like a YouTube video where it's like John. Let me John on that John over there. But like, there are times where you'll hear it 4 times in a sentence, and you're like, okay. So I understand what the first 2 were, but what are the second 2?
So, Chris, tell me, which word is more versatile? Okay, John,
right?
Fuck.
Ooh, I mean, listen, fuck can be used in a lot of different.
That's what I mean. I mean, it could be a noun, it could be a verb.
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. So anyone that doesn't know is Mead for Speed. His son, the big unit, is sitting off to the side. I forgot, but I still have to ask the question. I believe the F word is more versatile than John.
Yeah,
it can be both a noun and a verb.
It can be used. Well, John is a noun and a verb. John can be used however.
Okay, can it be used as an adjective?
So any place that you could use the F word, you could use the J word too, bro.
Okay, so how about this? Let me use this word in a sentence. That fucking hat.
Yeah.
No, because we would say like that fucking John.
Right, but you can't say that John fuck.
Well, you could, but she might get mad if you say it.
Chris, I can tell your allegiance to Philadelphia is strong because you won't admit what's obvious, which is the F word is more versatile than John.
It's probably true, but I'm not gonna let you win.
All right, well, fair enough. You're the guest. You're the guest in the vault, so we're gonna allow you to win this battle.
All right,
so,
nice.
Listen, I know you have some hats you want to show us, though, right? I want to see some stuff because we're about to have a hat battle. So, what better way to get us warmed up here?
So, first, I'll just start off with this one. So, this one is last summer. I was asked by the phillies store, turned into a New Era store last season. I've made great friends with the people over there over the past few years, and I've given them some ideas. Of stuff that I would want. Honestly, it's not even like, oh, I think this is going to do really well. It was always like, man, I would really love to see a hat that looks like, where is it? The one that we just had on. Hat that looks like a jersey. Oh, this one right here.
Oh, yeah.
So like, this was one of the first ones that I had said, I want it to be a diamond era kind of material. I want it to feel like a jersey. I want it to be pinstriped and to have the lettering. So they did this one, and they did a straight up red with the red pinstripes. But that one was actually a little bit nicer, and I used to own it, and I don't anymore. It's completely missing. But the lettering on it was chain stitch, so it looked like the jerseys, and it was such a clean chain stitch.
Yeah.
So then after a couple of years, he said, we have a design lab coming up, and I'm like, great, let me get some stuff ready for you. And he's like, no, New Era wants you to come in and sit with us and design a hat. I'm like, that's I mean, you guys know that's the dream right there. Like there's no So they picked a day. I called up and talked to the rep, and she was, I mean, just one of the coolest people. And she's like, we need, 10 minutes on a phone call, and an hour into the phone call, and we're talking about, waxed cotton and the, baseball leather and all this stuff that, hey, do you have this hat that looks like, Oscar the Grouch and blah, So I'm giving them these ideas, and it's like, what? Instead of a half an hour, we're gonna have you come in for the whole session if you would like to. And I sat in with Vic, Universal Article on Instagram. I mean, just he's ridiculous. So this was something that I had in my mind for years and years and years, and I wouldn't give it up until I got to help put it together because I didn't want it to change a little bit. So if you can see, the fabric behind the 1980 is a satin, so it looks like the flag. So it's not, it changes the material, so it's not your standard fabric. The underneath also has a satin green underbrim because they wore the green that year. We also decided that nothing ever had any they always had hats that were exclusive. Like this hat was only available there. They didn't make them anywhere else. But there's nothing that tells you that it's exclusive. So we sat down and we designed this ballpark exclusive. So this is the first hat that has this on there.
Yeah.
Still got the sample tags on there. This is the only one that exists. I know that people want this hat, and I want people to own this hat. I know.
Well, Chris, the hat you're wearing right now, right?
Right.
That one you're wearing right now.
Yep.
That has a huge significance to me, and I'm going to share with you why.
Right.
So you and I were talking about this hat a little while back. Now, first and foremost, this is the first hat that I posted on my hat Instagram. But
Nice.
But I'll tell you this, why this hat is so meaningful to me is my children lost their mom 3 years ago.
Oh,
Okay.
man.
And the first place I brought them was on a baseball trip where we just got away and we went on a baseball trip across the Northeast. So we went to Boston. I even went to Yankee Stadium. I went to every stadium from Boston down to Washington, D.C.
Nice.
And this hat I bought, and this is when my daughter said, Dad, you need to do something with your hats because, you love these so much. You got to do something different. So this was the first one I posted on my Instagram. If you go all the way to the bottom, it's the first one I posted.
Nice.
And it's got a lot of significance to me for that reason, but also the game we went to, it was miserable, right? It was so hot, but then there was this huge, disgusting downpour. And the joy it brought my kids to walk through that downpour is nothing. Like I was like pissed, right? But my kids were so happy to see that joy. I'll never forget this hat for that very reason. So
fantastic.
This hat right here means so much to me. And I'm not a Phillies fan, but this hat is probably one of the hats in my collection that means the most to me. So when you and I were chatting about this hat and you told me that, told me some things about this hat, it just added more value to the hat for me. But I just wanted to share that story because that hat is so meaningful to me.
Man, that's a meaningful trip, man. That's I'm sorry to hear about your wife. I'm sorry to hear about.
Oh, no. Listen, man, there's a positive to it, right? It brought us all together.
Right.
There's a silver lining, but I wanted to share that story with everybody.
Nice.
Yeah. So that other hat, people are bugging you for it, right?
Oh man, everybody. So this is a stadium exclusive. This is. You won't be able to get it somewhere else. And we did it for the 40th anniversary of the 1980 team. And, you could buy it when you went down to a game this season as they were celebrating.
So
now we don't really know. I don't know if it will, the main reason I love 1980 team. I love the colors. I wasn't born in 1980. I was negative years old. So the main thing that I really wanted, honestly, was a 2008 version. And I wanted it as the 10-year anniversary. And they didn't do anything. And to me, it was like there's I mean, you could literally just take take this logo, put it in gold, period. 10-year anniversary. You could do anything, you know. So I'm a huge fan of this hat. I have more of this hat than any hat in my collection. And no, you cannot have one. I'm sorry. But this one here is a patch swap that I did, where I just sort of always loved the logo and sort of wanted it as a standalone, you know, for the 10-year anniversary when they did win. I wanted to wear a hat that nobody else would be wearing. Yeah. So, you know, I do a patch swap. So I'll take the patch from this hat, steam it off, replace it onto this one here. And yeah, this is the hat right here, the World Series logo.
So
they didn't do anything. So it was like, oh, I wanted this in a 2008 with, you know, with the satin and with the, you know, we've seen some really nice underbrims lately, and the picture, you know, that's stuck in Phillies fans' mind is, you know, they just replayed the 2008 World Series last week, and the scene where Brad Lidge is on the ground with his hands up, and Carlos Ruiz is there, and they've done so much stuff with underbrims, and I was like, you could do something, and nothing happened. So I was like, man, somebody's got to do something. So hopefully we'll get some stuff going on down there. So I got to design. This was one of like 5 hats or something like that I did. So I actually have nobody's ever seen the rest of them. The store closed, and all of my hats are sitting down there waiting, and I can't even see the samples.
Well, does Leon have something? Leon has something we can show, right?
Leon has a picture that we could show that is no one's seen it before. Again, it will be a exclusive, but this is something that I had in mind for years, and wow. I went and I bought this Oscar the Grouch hat from Japan just to show them like what they could do, and the insanity. I mean, the Fanatic was just insane. So this is the sample. It will not look like this because the Fanatic underwent a slight visual change because they're being sued by the people who created him, or some insanity where the Phillies literally might lose the Fanatic. So this is not what it will look like. It will end up changing to be more like him, but this is my design that we'll see how it comes out, if it comes out, you know. But that's I had to shoot my shot when I was there. It was like, listen, I'm going all out. I was like, well, I'm gonna see what I can do. And
well, you definitely took the shot.
Yeah, that's.
I will say this, Pancake. If this thing does release, I'll still buy it.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna buy all of them if nobody buys them, and then wait till the resale market pops up, because no, that's I just have always had this. They've always done these like Fanatic flare hats as giveaways and stuff like that, and it's just like, those are all right, but we gotta do better than that.
It's bad. It's cool idea for sure, man. And right. I'll buy one if it comes out. I don't know how often I'll wear it though. I want to be clear.
It's all good, bro.
So listen, before we wrap up, Chris, I just want to see if there's any questions out there, right? You want to check in and see if there's any questions. You have a few more hats you want to show, or what?
Whatever you want. No, this is just this is one of my favorites, the Pancake wear mark. You got that, you know. Yeah, that's nice, man. At your local store. So this is one that the day that we signed Bryce Harper, I had a Phillies jersey and this hat ready. I had the picture done for like 3 weeks beforehand, because it was like, oh, you might get him, you might not, whatever it was. So I've always loved this hat, Batavia Clippers, early 90s. And I had the snapback, so that the day that we signed him, I posted a picture of it and I sent the picture to Hat Club, and I'm like, please, whatever you do, put this hat out. So, 4 months later, something like that, I get a message and it was like, yo, we did it. Check the hats out. So they sent me this one. This is the old new era snapback.
Yep. And they also did the other version too, right? That has the old Philly logo.
They did the maroon version.
Yep.
Which
I have that
really
one
didn't
too.
expect. But I mean, they're just.
I prefer the red one only because it looks less forced.
Right. The B could look okay, but it doesn't really make sense. Like they could have connected the baseball stitching to the bottom or so. It just visually it
looks more forced.
It looks aftermarket. Like it looks like they put it on there and we're like, ooh, that's close. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, let's just go with it.
Yeah, right.
But
and then this one. This is one of my favorites.
Oh,
This is the Fanatic. I mean, it's probably a little bit hard to tell, but I mean the fur.
No, you can see it.
This fur is like flexes. It's ridiculous. This was a from what I had heard, this is like one of the hats that made me search because I liked the picture of it on Instagram when I first got it. And I'm like, this hat is so sick. Where can I find it? She's like, oh, it's my husband's. He got it from working at the store and good luck finding it. And I was like, well, fuck this, but I got to find this hat now. So I searched and it took forever. And I think it was either Luis Mendoza or or somebody sent me the picture and it was just like, that's the hat. I found it finally. And I love this hat. This is one of my favorites. And that's it. I'm not gonna show any more Philly. People don't need to see all these Phillies hats.
Dude, listen, your Phillies. So I got a chance to talk with Tyler, who's 718's collector on Instagram, and he's a Mets fan, right?
Right.
People like you guys really impress me because I'm a Boston fan. I have a lot of Red Sox hats. I probably have 600 Red Sox hats, right?
Right.
But the guys that just won't go beyond their own team impress me.
I mean, listen, my bank account is limited. I start stretching to other teams. My wife's making me move out.
Well, lucky, I don't have a wife, so I guess that's why I'm allowed to do it. But I have a girlfriend who's pretty understanding. So, but listen, I think it was great. It was great having you. We're about to get into a hat battle. So
yeah, man.
Chris, I want to thank you though for being on to do this because
absolutely.
Your energy.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, your energy is great, man. And I still stand by my initial argument that the word fuck is more versatile than
all right. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Okay. So and listen, I've got something heading your way. So I've got a Roots cap heading your way. So
oh man, I appreciate that.
Yeah, you and I messaged about it. I'm gonna send one your way.
I appreciate it.
We're gonna have to have you on again, Chris, to show us how to do those patch swaps. And Banner brought up that you're
button swaps, patch swaps
king. So
yeah. Now listen. I can give you a button literally right here. See this?
Yeah.
This is a screwdriver. I mean the tiniest little screwdriver, right? Take this screwdriver and you go from the back of the hat, and there's a piece of metal in between them, and all you do is one little pry and you twist it, and you can pop any button off of whatever. So like here we go, the blue one, it pops off, and then once it pops off, you're good to go. You just swap another one. So if I got a standard Phillies jersey on, whatever it is right now, I'm going with the blue. But if I throw on like a throwback, like 1950s, I need a white. So like I gotta take that blue button off and switch it over to white. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, next time we'll do patch swaps, we'll do button swaps, whatever you want.
Hey,